Welcome to Sunday Night Chat with Garage Geek. Normally I do this on a Friday, but I got delayed by 2 days, I guess. I think I made my last video, which was a chat, kind of in the middle, and so I waited a couple of extra days. Did you need to know all that? I don't think you did. But anyways, I've got a list of things to go over with you, and I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I got a couple of really excuse me, nice gifts. One of them is something I've wanted for a while, which is a digital photo frame. I love it. So I could just take pictures from my phone, send them directly to the frame. They just get added into the loop. It's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying it. And I got some Marvel puzzles, which, I have pictures of those on my phone, but I didn't put them here. So hopefully I can remember to show you that. I've done 2 of the 4. There were 4 puzzles in one box. There were 3 300-piece and 1 500. 300-piece puzzles are very easy. I can get them done quickly. I kind of like that because I don't have one of those mats to roll my puzzles up. And so when I do a puzzle, I don't want to leave it overnight because the cats will get on it and just, throw pieces everywhere. And now that we have a 4-year-old in the house, that's not going to fly. So yeah, no puzzles left unattended. All of a sudden I'm making this video and I want to start coughing. That's not good. Sorry about that. Okay. So I've got a list. I'm just going to go through the order. So I might be jumping from movies to comics to whatever, going back and forth. But I do have some movies, some comics, a couple CDs. That kind of thing. So first, I watched Back to the Future 1 and Back to the Future 2. And I'm going to watch Back to the Future 3 tomorrow. So I watched 1 yesterday and 2 today. I'm getting ready because those movies, spoiler, are included in the top 10 of the top 30 best time travel movies. And of course, I've been doing videos on them. I've done 2 already. And I actually have those 3 movies in a set. And so I wanted to rewatch those movies before I did the video. And honestly, I haven't seen those movies in forever. Now, the first movie is just so iconic, right? It's an amazing movie, but it's such a popcorn movie. It's like so much going on in that movie. It's like action, action, action. And then it's just like one bad situation after the next, and they have to like scramble around. But it's so much fun. But what's really interesting about that movie, not having seen it in so long, the supporting cast is really good. So her name's either Lee or Lay. It's Lea. Lay Thompson, who plays the mother. She's really good. And when she's young and she's all vampy and vixeny, she's so good. And she's actually so sexy. And, when she's, coming on to her own son, it's pretty hilarious. Some of the best scenes in the movie. Crispin Glover is so good in that role. And that was one question I have. I was actually going to look it up. So it's very obvious that he's not in the second movie. And so I wonder why he didn't want to do the second movie. But he was very good in that movie as someone who's just like slimy and wormy and cowardly. Now, Christopher Lloyd, he was actually worse than I remembered. He was like so campy and over the top, like going so far as going like, ooh, and ah. And so some of those scenes with Christopher Lloyd, they're iconic, right? The whole movie is, but it was just a little bit over the top. And most of the movie is over the top, but it's so much fun. It's, like I said, it's such a popcorn action movie. That's so much fun. Watch the second season of Squid Game. No spoilers. Oh, wait, I forgot. I have pictures to back up what I'm saying. So, of course, everyone's seen the movie poster for Back to the Future 1. And I like the movie posters, how they add one character for each movie. So here's the second one where they add Christopher Lloyd. And the third one, they're going to add Mary Steenburgen, which I will be showing next week. Because, I'll have watched it tomorrow. So I won't give any spoilers, but Squid Game 2 is out, and it's only... dang. It's only 7 episodes, but I really, really, really enjoyed it. They do a lot of the same things. In fact, that was a criticism of the show. They do a lot of the same things, the same type of characters, the same type of situations. But they added a lot of new and interesting ideas. It's a lot of fun, and I really wished it was more than 7 episodes. So I'm going to highly recommend Squid Game, especially if you liked the first season of it. They actually, this is a little bit of a spoiler. They don't finish the games by the end of the end of the season. There's only 7 episodes, so it's kind of like a part 1 and a part 2 type of season thing. Even though I think they're calling season 2 part 2, I think they're just going to call it season 3. But they're still working on the same game, and so I was a little bit disappointed in that. Also, I think a lot of the more stressful games will happen in the second part of the season. But like I said, there was a lot of things that they did different, so that it's not a just repeat of the same show of season 1. All right, I read 2 comic collections that I'm going to share with you. The first one is Batman Universe, and I have a lot of art to show off. I actually prepared it. So first off, let's show off this cover. So we have this great wraparound cover that is like that, really, but really cool. The art in this reminded me of Darwin Cook, and I surprisingly really, really enjoyed it, even though it's not kind of realistic art. It's more cartoony, but it was still really, really nice. And what really was interesting about the artwork is there were a lot of full pages and double page art spreads. Now, as I'm showing off this art, I want to talk to you a little bit about this comic. It was so much fun. They crammed so much into this. Oh, it's the same picture. Look at how cool that one is. They shove a lot in this. Like, Batman is going all over the place in this. So here he is. Look at this. He's standing on his bat plane looking at the ape city. So you're going to go to ape cities, dinosaurs. You're going to go here we're talking about. They're in Dinosaur Island where he meets Green Lantern. There's going to be a whole cast of characters in this. And you know what? It never really seems contrived. I have a couple of issues with this, and one is that the villain is never really fleshed out. So that was one weakness about this. Another thing that this artist does is he will break things down into small pieces. Like, look at this fight scene where you have to go square by square to follow the action. It's pretty cool. And here's another overhead shot of Batman lying down in he's actually in Crime Alley where his parents were murdered. Now here's another example of this double page spread that is actually broken down into little pieces, but without the blocks. So we're following Batman and Nightwing as they go from place to place. And yeah, so your eye has to travel in an S. Another thing that's interesting is as Batman goes through here, Nightwing climbs in here. Oh, wait, this way. Climbs in here and goes through here and comes down. So your eye is tricked into moving all over. And there's a fish. Oh, there he is over there. It's a great piece of art that forces your eye to move through it. I was impressed. Here's another one where you've got just a gazillion of the Green Lantern Corps. Great double spread there. Here's a really cool piece of art. Batman is trapped. I won't explain it, but he's trapped in this area where there's nothing, and the only thing we have breaking the art is all of his thought bubbles, which he seems to be thinking them out loud. And while he's trapped in there, his body is down here, and this fight is raging on around him. Again, pretty cool art. This is a great art piece of Vandal Savage holding Batman up after he's like pulverized him. This is kind of corny. He's saying I am Batman, and there's a reason that he says that. This is another one of the weakest points of this issue. Batman gets erased from existence, and we get like a page or two of a world without Batman, and it's so quick and not done very well, and it just felt, I wish they would have developed it, because it was a cool idea. Right? And then he suddenly comes pouring back all of the memories, and that's why you have all of that. It's a cool way to end it, but it just wasn't developed. But that's just a little small quibble about this comic, because it is so cool. And here we have that art piece. I'm going to go through the covers, because this stuff is really cool. So here we have the covers from the very... Now, originally this was put in, was published in those 100-page giant comics. And then I believe it was also released as a series. Okay. Like I said, oh, he also travels to the past where he encounters Jonah Hex. Yeah, like I said, he's going all over the place with this. This reminds me of the Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely image. I think of Lex Luthor. No, Superman. I think it's All-Star Superman doing that same thing. I should have researched that. Some more. Hawks. He goes to Thanagar, and this is the Simian City. It's not Grodd's place, but it's similar. And yeah, it's just... I know I'm showing this off. I hope you enjoy looking at comic book art. I really, really enjoyed this. But I'm almost done. So sorry if you're not into comic art. And that's the last one. These are just sketch covers. All right, so that was the first one. And like I said, I would highly recommend Batman Universe just because it's so much fun and it's quick and it takes you to so many different places in the DC universe. And then after that, I read something that's kind of the opposite. Nemesis. Now this is by Mark Millar. I think that's how you say it. Who's most famous for Kick-Ass. Now this is what if Batman were evil, basically. This is a Batman character who has a vendetta against police officers, and he makes these elaborate plots around the world where he goes in and murders really important police officers because he wants to drag the name of the police through the mud. But he lets them know ahead of time, and he tells them exactly what time and where they will die. And then he sets up an elaborate plot to make it all happen. This was a crazy good book. I could not believe I liked this so much because it's so ultra violent and it's so cool. I mean, how do you not like a comic like that? It's just the craziness of it. But it wasn't silly. It was actually a really interesting story. Now, there was a lot of contrived plots, but it kind of worked. So you've already seen that piece of art, I think. Let's go on to the next one. Here's a splash page of a train crashing. Oh, and the body count on this is just amazing. Here, he's attacking Air Force One, and he is able to capture or kidnap the president. And so here we have him there on TV, saying, hey, I got the president. You better meet me or else I'll kill him. Something like that. Now, here's where we get him in his lair, just like kind of like Batman, but look, it's like all high tech. He's over there on a throne. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Sorry, I couldn't get the perspective right. Here he's being chased by a helicopter. Yeah. Oh, the art in this really reminded me of Frank Quitely art. And I think Mark Millar's worked with Frank Quitely a lot. Get ready. The next one's a little bit, a lot of blood there. I'm telling you, this is a really cool comic. If you don't like comics and you're kind of into like violent movies, this comic might surprise you. You might actually really like it, and it's short. So again, that's Mark Millar, and the artist is named McNiven, and his art is really, really good. So after that, I want to talk about a CD that I found out about, and that is Cat Power Sings Dylan. Now, I didn't realize this when I started listening to it, but I found out that she redoes the 1966 Royal Albert Concert Hall of Dylan. You know, the famous one where he's called a Judas, and he does half the concert in folk mode. What is that? Folk mode? Acoustic guitar, basically, and harmonica. And then the second half, he has an electric band, and you know, the audience at the time, they were very upset. And so she recreates this concert. And so I was listening to this, and then I was listening to the original kind of back to back. Now, the Dylan concert is lauded as being one of the best ever. And I have my feelings about it. It's certainly a very interesting concert. It's a great concert. I'm going to say that. But sometimes it's hard to listen to Bob Dylan's voice. I do prefer the studio versions. His live voice I'm going to be honest, he's not the greatest singer in the world. I love Bob Dylan, but his voice is hard to listen to. In fact, I listened to his Christmas album this week a couple of times. And that thing is like nails on a chalkboard, but I still love it. But it's like the weirdest thing. It's like listening to your drunk uncle sing Christmas carols. It's like, I don't know, but it's just it's like the weirdest thing. Like, do you love it or do you hate it? It's very strange. Now let's talk about Cat Power. Now, Cat Power has such a great voice, and it takes you a minute to really, really appreciate her versions. When I listened to them the first time, I liked them, but upon, third or fourth listen, you start to really love them. Like what she does with her voice and the way she interprets the songs, I mean, it really grows on you. I'm going to recommend this if you like her, or if you like Dylan, or you just want to hear a fresh take on a classic oldie, I would guess. This is a really good album. Cat Power Sings Dylan. Next, I've been doing my Christmas album series, and I've done 2 of them. And I have the third one planned. I haven't really had time to do it because I've been spending a long time like really cleaning out my room. I have 1 week left of my vacation, and I have so much that I need to do. Like, there's a lot to do in this room. And so I've been doing that. I've been going through my books, some of my albums, trying to do some culling. And that's why I've been reading all of these things, because I'm thinking of, because I have them all on my shelf, and I have so many of them that I might be taking them to the store and seeing if I can get trade for them. It's a shame. But these things are really good, but I'm hoping that in the future they will be putting out collected editions with all of these things inside of them, especially all the Batman things. And I decided that I'm not going to be buying any more of the standalone Batman books, even though they're great. It's just, I really don't have room for them on my shelves, and I do want to focus on older comics. So it's a trade-off, right? I think I need to take a drink. And so, yeah, that's just a decision I made. But anyways, back to what I was talking about, which was the album series. So I have the third one in the works. I'm working on it. But what really surprised me is my Johnny Mathis one is getting a lot of views. Like, I've already gotten 250 views, which is very strange for me. But I noticed when I looked at the analytics, people are only watching it for like the first 30 seconds. So it's that frustrating thing with YouTube. You're like, oh, I have a hit. No, not really. The algorithm has been putting it out there, but people are clicking on it and then they're not watching it. I haven't got a thumbs down on the video yet, but I've only got 10 likes out of 250. And so it's that really, really frustrating thing about YouTube. It's like, oh, you clicked on it. Why don't you just go ahead and watch it and see if you like it? But I guess, nope. All right. Next, I watched an animated special that was recommended to me by Morton Ustad. And I am not going to say that title. Wait, why not? It really upsets him when I say it all wrong. And so let me put this down. And so why don't I just go ahead and say it? Because maybe he'll make a video telling me how I'm supposed to say it. Sagen Karl Bertil Johnson's Julaften. I made it a point to say that all janky. Sagen Julaften. So anyways, I'm so glad he sent that. He sent me a link to it. Now this is, oh gosh, I think it's in Danish. I get them mixed up. It could be Danish. It could be Norwegian. I'm going to go with Danish. So I think it's in Danish. And it's only 22 minutes. But there's also an English version. It's dubbed. And it's called Christopher's Christmas Mission. Now, I watched the one with the dubbing. I like that. But I did find the English one readily available. I'm going to highly recommend this. I enjoyed it a lot. So you got this kid who works in a post office. You're going to get some cultural insights into this, especially for the time. I'm not going to go ahead and explain why he's working in the post. You'll get it in the video. And he decides that he's going to take all the rich people's presents. He has a way to determine it. And it's pretty interesting culturally. And then he has another way to back it up. I'm not going to explain it all. And he's going to change the labels on them. And then he goes to the poor parts of town and he hands out all those presents. Now, you think that would be fine, but he actually confesses to it to his father. And that's where it gets even more interesting. It was kind of interesting because I was like, oh my gosh, he's stealing from everybody. And I know, like, rich people want their presents too, right? They want their mail. So anyways, here I go again with my cough. Oh, wait, you know what? In my pocket, I have a cough drop. So the message of this is pretty interesting, but I really enjoyed it. It's only 22 minutes. I highly recommend that you look for this and watch it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you, Morton, for sending me that recommendation. Oh my gosh, I think I only have one thing left. I'm looking at my list. So I wanted to talk about this, A Christmas Memory. This is a 29-page, I believe it's 29 pages. Let me see. It's super short. It's a 29-page short story. Yep, only 29. And you can see the writing is not very big. But this is a story that I read every year without fail. I make sure on Christmas Day sometime I will sit by myself and I will read that story. It does not take long. Maybe 20 to 30 minutes max. This is and every year I say this. So if you've been a fan, a mega fan of my show for years, you will have heard this already. This story just reminds you what Christmas is about. And it's so good. It's so well written. I don't know. I think everybody should read this at least once. I read it every year. Truman Capote is an amazing writer. And here you get, in a very short space, what kind of writer he is and how powerful a writing he is. He can take simple sentences and really make them stick. Every year that I read this, I come away feeling, I don't want to get sappy. This is just the perfect thing to remind you of Christmas and what Christmas is all about. I highly recommend A Christmas Memory by Truman Capote. And there you have my Sunday evening chat coming in at 25 minutes. Again, we're coming up on New Year's. I hope everyone is going to have a safe New Year's. Nobody's drinking and driving, right? If you're going to drink, someone's going to drive you. You're going to take an Uber, or you're going to stay at home and do your drinking, probably like I will. I want to thank everybody out there for the support.